Late August probably isn't the best time to show off your garden. By this stage of the year you've normally given up weeding because there aren't really any plants to do weeding for, and everything's gone to seed in more ways than one. But there are still a few bits and pieces in the garden I thought you might like to see, Mum. So if you'd like to come with me, I'll take you around the plot. We'll start off with my favourite plant from the wall. This is called Japanese blood grass, which survived a replanting last year. It was getting a bit overtaken in the wall by roses and is now looking resplendent with the sun shining through the leaves, I think. Far more traditional, of course, are the plums. Now, plums vary in terms of their harvest enormously. Last year we had probably no more than 24 plums in total. In previous years we've harvested them by the box load. This year is kind of like a medium harvest, I think. I've just picked a box load, which I've put out the front, and for which I've asked for donations for Oxfam, and I reckon there's probably another couple of boxes in that tree yet, so a reasonable plum harvest. The vegetable patch is looking pretty trim, given that I've given it very little attention over the last few weeks, and that's more than can be said for the tomatoes. A disastrous year for the tomatoes. Don't quite know why it was. I think I may have not given them enough attention during a real heat wavy week in July, and they've all shriveled up. They've yielded very few. A lot of them haven't even grown to the top of their sticks, as you can see there, so it's been a very poor year indeed. In fact, even that one there looks rather sort of orange and as though it's never going to ripen. The basil looks quite good. Purple basil this year for a bit of a change. Always works a treat. This is quite interesting. These are green peppers, or snack peppers to be more precise. I didn't realise when I bought them they were going to be so small. In fact, they're so small they're a bit of a fiddle to chop up, and I don't quite know how useful they are in truth, but there we go. I mean, it shows that you can grow peppers in this country. That's the remains of a cucumber plant, which has yielded about 3 cucumbers. I think it's all finished now, though. Now, as we go down the new vegetable patch path, we'll avert our gaze from the now finished strawberries on the left and have a look at this fine display of beans. Now, Father would be really proud of the strength of this cane frame. Look at that, built to last. Put in there in April, it survived all those summer storms, and that ain't coming down anytime soon. More significantly, it has supported some pretty good fine green beans. You can see some there which perhaps need another few days to maturity. That one's getting there. And the good thing about these beans is that they are string free, unlike the runner beans, which were very stringy and pretty much inedible. Lettuces is a good thing to grow. I sowed these Lollo Rosso lettuces back in June, and although they're now starting to bolt, you could still eat some of them. These ones I planted about 6 weeks ago and are still very much eatable. And here's another lot I planted just a few weeks ago and they're eatable. So the lettuces continue to deliver and should keep us in greenery well into September and possibly even beyond. Now, the sweet corn. When I came to see you in May, I travelled round numerous shops trying to get sweet corn plants. I finally found some which weren't in the best of health at your Wyvale Centre at Winnersh, and I planted them, and would you believe it, despite it being a rather poor summer, they have actually grown and are actually showing cobs. With sweet corn you have to wait until the tassels on the top are brown. That indicates that the cobs are ripe, and then you tentatively peel back the leaves, as in this case, to reveal a lovely golden coloured cob. Look at that one, and that will be going in the pot tonight. The key thing is with sweet corn is that you plant it out late when the earth is nice and warm, but then you harvest it in a hurry. You really need to put it in the pot within about a couple of hours of picking it, and that way none of the sugars have a chance to turn to starch, and the sweet corn are all the sweeter. So I'm really pleased with that crop. The other good thing about them is they look quite impressive, and they're good to show off to your friends and to your mother. And also very few weeds grow between the plants, so it needs very little weeding, so it ticks a lot of boxes. I started the film by saying there isn't much in terms of a spectacle in the garden in late August, with the exception of course of the sunflower. Couldn't get any giant Russians this year, but that one is looking pretty good. I'm 6 foot, so that must be about 6'6", and I think it's a good way to end this summer film, and in some ways to end the summer.